All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to a very special.
Very special.
I don't even know what to call this. Is this a Get Down
It's going to be a
podcast?
podcast. This is going to be episode 119, little special edition, the meetup edition, if you will.
Yeah, so I know last year we did a full podcast for the meetup. We brought on a couple guests. I think this year we're doing something a little different. So Purari from Purari Production Academy is actually doing an entire production seminar. So he's going to go through a track, kind of show how he created certain aspects of it. And we're going to start with some beginner stuff and then move into some more intermediary stuff. So I think this is going to be sort of a combination of Gary and I talking. We're going to get a few quick guests in here, and then we're going to have the Purari seminar. And that's kind of going to be the whole podcast.
Yeah, so that'll be the podcast. Maybe we'll get a little production behind this, a little B-roll and whatnot, and maybe make this a special edition of the Get Down. But the other things that we have in store here today are going to be obviously featuring some of our DJs. I think we're gonna actually have a couple mystical entertainment DJs on today. I think Mike Marquez might make a one of my buddies from back in the day might make an appearance. So I'm always excited to hear those guys play. But really, the essence of what this really is getting everybody together, network, and bring people together that don't normally get to meet each other outside of outside due to working all the time. So.
Yeah, I mean, these things have evolved, right? The Get Down meetup was initially 12 of us at a restaurant in Hoboken, New Jersey, many of whom we didn't even know who these people were, and we were booking them to DJ in some of our places.
Yeah.
And now it's evolved to this, massive sold out ticket. I mean, I guess not that massive, but lots of DJs and producers and music industry people coming and networking and just kind of getting to know the face with the Instagram handle, right, so to speak.
Right. I think when you look back and you look at that first one being 12 people, and then you remember the second one was at the Ashford/626, and that was maybe like 40 people.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh wow, 40 people came out. This is awesome. And now, we did the Splice thing, and Brandon really was a catalyst in really making that look good and really and teaching us what production looks like behind these events.
Yeah.
And then, last year we did, then the pandemic happened. And last year we bounced back and did it here. And this year we came back because this is such a perfect space to utilize different rooms and do different things. When, you can have the food truck outside, we can have the networking inside in the main area. And then we have this nice room that we're recording in currently. This is where we did our podcast last year, and this is where the production seminar will go down. So just really a great space for events like this. But not going to lie, we're going to have outgrown this year, which is kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah, we need a bigger boat.
I need a bigger boat. I texted you before. So the wheels actually are already turning today about, what's next, but that's always, let's get through today first.
This is definitely the most calm, least stressed I've ever been for one of these events. I think it was good. We kind of stripped down a lot of the stuff. So we're really focusing, at least you and I, more so on the networking portion and getting to actually talk to as many people as possible. We're not recording an hour-long podcast today, which we did last year, which was amazing. It was really cool. I think it got really great feedback from the people who were here. Sure. But I think it took away from the essence of why we started doing this a little bit.
Really disappointed my mom because we're not doing the podcast.
She loved it.
She loved it. But seriously, that is why we started to do this, is to network. Not so much for you and I to network, though. That's not why we started it. But I think it's become increasingly more important for you and I to be present because we are growing so rapidly with different accounts, and we have accounts coming at us weekly. So, growing our network and growing Get Down as a group is very important. So today is going to be key to that success.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to meet many of the DJs who have either popped into gigs or have DM me or text me, and I've not had a chance to really have a conversation because, listen, when I'm DJing, I can say what's up, and maybe if it's early enough, I can kind of talk a little bit, but it's hard to kind of multitask that DJing the room and also trying to get to know somebody,
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of guys that do come out and show love, so it will be a great opportunity to do that, and then also meet the guys that we've been DMing back and forth and giving tips to that hit us up maybe to, hey, what should I do in this situation? What should I do in that situation? So it'll be, like you said, it'll be great to put a face to the Instagram and to the DM.
Yeah. I think this is the single best thing that we do.
It's our biggest thing that we do of the year for sure. It's so important, I feel, for not just the DJ community, not just our guys to come out and hang out with each other, but it's also important just to push that DJ culture in that positive direction. That's what we set out to do initially. So
I love it for our
perpetuates it.
team because there are people in this room that they look up to, you know, and we can bring all these people together and give our DJs a chance to maybe meet some artists and producers and DJs who they've never had a chance to really meet, you know. Maybe they play their music, or, you know, maybe they've DM'd and not had that chance to actually say what's up to some of the people that are going to be here. So
I can't believe that it's gotten to that point where people are coming out here to our event, that we do play their music, and
we had to make a VIP list this year.
Which I thought, I was like, oh my God, are we really having to do this? Thinking in like a douchey sense. But then I was like, well, I guess it's important just to kind of put, you know what, sometimes there's producers that I download their music, I don't know what they look like. Like, yeah. Maybe I'm not following them on social. So it's good to know who's showing up in the room, and you know, to make sure that we're meeting them, and then to make sure our guys are also meeting them as well. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, me too. Big shout out to Corgi Distillery here in Jersey City. Huge shout out to Johnny Mack from Mystical Entertainment. He's actually setting up behind us for the seminar, which is going to be super cool. Shout to Digital Music Pool, always supporting everything we do. They're going to be here, as always, showing love, giving out some cool gifts.
Yep. We also have...
And obviously, shout to Purari Production Academy. He's hosting the seminar. He's going to be teaching the course.
Then there's our behind-the-scenes guys. You know, UFOso's here helping out. Tim Vu, always helping out in some regard. Chubb's helping out with the DJs. I got my niece Jay from you know, Jay
all
Waller,
the favors for this one.
Everybody's doing some photography. So, you know, we're pulling it all out.
All the favors this event. So no, I'm super excited. You know, excited to rock out tonight.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the seminar, and hope you guys enjoy this. All right, we're back with Chubbs.
What up?
Chubbs, introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
DJ Chubbs, out of New Jersey. Play a lot of open format, tech house, techno. I play everything.
Chubbs has become one of our quickest rising DJs, playing, you know, a lot of our spots, and a lot of diverse spots for us, not just all the same stuff. So yeah, your versatility has been not only surprising, but also you're just growing quite quickly in being so versatile as a DJ. So, you know, big shout out to you on the great year that you've had, for sure.
Yeah, man. Like I tell everyone, just grinding.
That's it.
And just play every single room that you can.
Yeah, it's a great learning experience.
I go to every single room a few times before I play it.
Yeah.
626. I was nervous as hell to play at first, but watching you, Greg, Kareem, everyone play there, I got the gist of it.
Yeah, you've been a great student, for sure.
Just added my own flair to it.
So, gosh, this is only your second meetup so far. I mean, I think we've done like 5. So
Jeez.
I'm gonna lay off some of the comparative questions to the older stuff. But what are you looking forward to most about this year's meetup?
Probably meeting new faces, a lot of the OG guys, meeting some of the guys at different venues, and just networking, trying to get out of Jersey, start becoming a traveling DJ, try taking this more full time than I am right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great goal. Well, you know, obviously as a young DJ, and I feel like, you know, these events hopefully, you know, make that happen for you. What's something you'd like to see incorporated in a future meetup? Anything from, you know, maybe the style of DJing that we have going outside, or the seminar / podcast / whatever we do, you know, on the other end of things, anything that you would like to see personally?
I don't know. I feel like we have everything. Like this year we have Purari Academy doing a seminar. Last year we had a great podcast that we were able to watch live, meet dope people. Love all the DJ sets. So I don't know what would have, like, we bring everything already, I feel like.
We try. So we'll have to brainstorm, you know, in the coming months and figure out what the next thing's going to be. Who would a dream guest at a meetup be?
Definitely have to be a higher tier DJ. Someone that does it already, making traveling, festivals like John's Summit, for example, would be a great like motivational because he came from his parents' basement, made one track, and look where he's at now, traveling the world.
Yeah, he'd be a great addition, especially this year, the years he's been having. So
Yeah, exactly.
that would be amazing. If you could pick one DJ to perform, who would it be? And this is always an interesting one because it's got to be somebody who I feel like performs like that really like puts a show on.
I'd bring up John Summit or like a Fisher, Dom Dollar, like the Tech House guys.
Fisher would be incredible.
Yeah, they're changing the way for everything. They're making house music more like mainstream that just your regular people now listen to it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that'd be like a great like special guest DJ, one of them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, cool. Chubbs, good having you on.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll check you guys soon. We are here with our guy, Dario Valley. Dario,
Wow.
tell us who you are. Tell us a little about yourself.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Dario Valley. Oh, that was a nice little. Greg's doing great out there. My name is Dario Valley. I'm a DJ producer, born and raised in Jersey, North Jersey. A little bit of how you doing? Been with Get Down. God, Gary, I don't even know how
Been
long.
a few years.
It's been a while.
It's been a while now. I think Kareem just called you the elder statesman. So
I'm the elder.
I-
I'm 28 going on elder.
yes,
Wow, that's a rough one.
it makes me feel pretty good about myself.
I was gonna say, well, you look 10 years younger than me, bastard. You made a deal with the devil the way you look. Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah, take a seat. Come on now. Working hard
So-
or hardly working?
So what are you looking forward to most about the meetup this year?
You know, I've been since about the beginning, first meetup to now. I remember the first meetup was at 626.
So
All
that
right.
was the second one.
Second one.
Yes.
Oh, first one was at Birch.
The first one was at Ainsworth. I'm getting them all confused.
The
But
one-
anyway, what
Yeah.
what are you
Well,
looking forward to the most about this?
So, like I said, with that, I remember I was just trying to get in. Honestly, I was trying to network, get to know some people. And I think I'm most excited now just seeing the growth from, in the beginning when I wasn't even really with you guys to now an integrated part after all these years. It's exciting to see the growth, the development, the amount of in the industry that's supporting it, the movement, especially not even from my generation, like myself, Angelo, Olive Oil, that generation. Now we're seeing the upcoming generation. We got the Chubbses, the Timos, the Hovas, all of them, Solano. It's exciting to see now multiple generations coming together, and it's kind of become a family affair now. And hopefully we get to see new faces. I heard we got a pretty damn good turnout, so I'm excited to see.
It's interesting because your evolution of your DJ career and growing with us at Get Down and then the meetup evolution has all kind of been hand in hand so far, you started out and when you started out, I feel like our company was young, the meetup was young. We were just kind of coming into our own. So I feel like we've really grown a lot together, which is great.
Yeah, and it's to that, you don't want to say it's the American dream. How corny could you be? But it's kind of the DJ dream, if you will. I came in, I was taking every damn gig that you guys gave me. I was playing on a fucking barrel. I remember.
I still play on that barrel.
Yeah, exactly. Once in a while, depending on the day. But now it's you go from there to you want to play the top venues, and you're kind of achieving that and understanding the blessing that you have, that everyone will kill for. It's really a gift every single weekend, especially to work with people that you love too. It's the easiest rollout I think you could possibly ask for. So I'm extremely grateful for it every single weekend.
So what's something that you would incorporate that we haven't done in a future meetup?
That's a tough one because I'm seeing these meetups evolving on the emphasis, right? I like at some points it's more so, newer DJs in different markets. For this one, it's, Purari Academy. Shout out to Mikey Purari. How you done? But and that's more of an emphasis on music production. So I think it's the ever evolving industry, if you will, on the need basis. So I think for me, at least from what I'm looking to get selfishly, is probably just more connections outside of Jersey. I'm looking to see more New York guys. I want to see some of those people show love. Would love to just get their feedback too and grow on this further, because this is an East Coast push. I think this is bigger than New Jersey. I think that, what we have going on is special and different than what everyone's got going on. And, we want good people involved too. So I think that's a really big thing, but definitely a push for music too. Music production. I want to see new producers. I want to vary genres. I mean, I think it's important for the industry as well as a
Yeah,
whole.
hopefully that's what we see coming out of this meetup, is that this does inspire people to get into production and, go through the Production Academy and really evolve as DJ/artists. So, all right, last one real quick. Who would your dream guest be at the next meetup? Like, just not the next meetup, but your dream guest at a meetup. Who would it be?
My dream guest at a meetup. Are we going like possibility or like
It could be anything.
anyone?
Somebody alive, dead, whatever you want to do. DJ, artist, president, whatever.
Yeah, President. Let's not go political again. Are you trying to get views, or are you trying to get this reported?
Possibly, we don't know.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? That's a tough one, because you want to hear. I want to hear more of everyone. I want to hear more of bigger producers. I want to hear more of kind of nightlife connects, if you will. So I don't know. Maybe I'm really into the melodic techno scene right now. The house scene, obviously, as always. So maybe just a bigger name. I mean, you can go up and down the list of who's hot at the time. I mean, fucking, James Hype showed up. I mean, yeah, that'd be insane. But now it's like, are we being realistic here? So I think a nice homegrown talent showing, I started here in New Jersey and now I'm here. I think that would be a nice thing to send home to, especially inspire, for these meetups. That's what this is all about. So we're the next homegrown talent.
Beautiful. I love it. Dara Valley, thanks for coming on. Great having you.
Always a pleasure.
Tonight. All right, guys, we're here with Doug Spin. Doug Spin, tell us a little about yourself and what you do here with Get Down DJs.
Well, I'm Doug Spin. I've been with Get Down for about 7 years now. And in the beginning, they sent me a lot of new places. They trusted me a lot. I've been DJing with them for a while. So now I'm DJing, and I just started producing some stuff. Looking to release some things this year. Don't know yet. We'll see.
Some exciting stuff, getting into a new venture in the DJ production world. So that should be fun. We'll be looking out for whatever you're putting out. So you've been to several meetups now. What are some of the things that you look forward to most about the meetup?
I think the number one thing is really meeting new people. Before these meetups, networking, you just really did it on your own. You call the buddy, hey, let's go here and check this person out. Hopefully you meet somebody, here you get more of a, like guys get booked to DJ by you guys before you have to go out on your own. Here you get it's just more open. It's easier, 200 people.
Yeah.
You're going to meet somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that's the hope, is that everybody looks forward to meeting more people and expanding their network. Right. So, here's a toughie for you. What is something you'd like to see incorporated in a future meetup? And it could be anything. It could be anything from we did the podcast the one year. We're going to do the seminar this year.
Scratch battle on turntables. Want to see it get done.
All right. So you want to see a little turntablism.
And I'm doing it. I'm in there. Show my stuff.
I like it. Like a little scratch battle, bring a little battle element into it. It's something that we haven't done yet. So I think that would be a lot of fun. So like we said, you've been here since the beginning, since the first meetup. Are you surprised that this meetup's gotten as popular as it has?
Yes and no. Yes, because before I met you guys, nobody ever kept a word about shit. So they'd be like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to plan this. And it just never happened. Or if it happened, it was just like the most half-assed thing you could go to. But you guys, meeting you guys was great. You guys taught me to believe, basically. And every year you guys add and it gets more professional by the year that you guys do it.
Big shout out
So-
to Brandon Barris for that.
Yeah.
We were saying that in the intro that he showed us really how to do polished production. So
Yeah, Brandon was great. Brandon was
big
great.
shout to him. We're upset that he can't make it to this one. Okay, last question. Who would your dream guest at a meetup be?
My dream guest. That was more tough than what I want incorporated in the meet. Man, my dream guest would be. You know what? I don't know if a lot of people know this guy, but I love my turntablism and I love my scratching, and you guys might have to yell at me a little bit for scratching too much at venues. But his name's DJ Ace. He's a New York City sergeant. I know he's a cop. He's a New York City cop, and he is an amazing. His wordplay and the way he scratches is just so on point. So it would go perfect with incorporating the scratch battle. We let him go first, and it's like, oh, you gotta search yourself up. DJ Ace, forget his Instagram, but DJ Ace, New York City DJ.
All right, let's wrap it there. Doug Spin, Get Down DJ Group. Peace out, guys.
All right, so the meetup is officially underway. We were grabbing some quick interviews here, but our next guest, James Yeager. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what you're working on.
What's up, guys? My name is James Yeager. I've been an open format DJ for about 10 years. Slowly started to transition to be more of like a house music producer. Been producing for about 5 years, working with Get Down for about 3. And it's just all about the grind recently, trying to put out as much music as possible, trying to figure out what my sound is, all that good stuff that comes with, hitting Ableton as much as I possibly can every week.
It's exciting, that part of it, right? Like figuring out your sound is such a cool journey.
It's amazing. And honestly, shout out Mikey, because I've had my idea for what I want it to sound like for a while, but whenever I'd put it into Ableton, it would kind of just be like this mess. So I gave him that mess, and he helped me turn it into my first track, which was amazing.
I think that's what's really awesome about working with Mikey is like we all have skills using Ableton. We all have these ideas that we put on paper, and they sound pretty good, but then we couldn't go to Mikey and say, hey, I want this to sound more like this, and he can make that happen, which is super cool.
He can. It's amazing working with him. It really is.
Now, it's another Purari Production Academy disciple out here, just
Yeah.
churning out, just churning people out. I love it.
Yep, it's amazing.
All right, so how many meetups have you been to? How many meetups have you been to?
I went to the one that was during COVID, so I think this one will be my third.
Okay.
There was a break in between, so this will be my third one. I played the last one, and then this will be my third.
It's kind of crazy because it feels like you've been on the squad for like a really, really long time. It's only been 3 years.
Yeah. A lot has happened in those 3 years.
I know. So thinking back to the first meetup that you attended to now this one, like what's changed? What are your thoughts on that?
I think looking back, it was kind of crazy because there was the break of COVID in between the first meetup and the meetup last year. And I realized that I came to the first meetup and I maybe knew like you and like 2 other people in the whole building. And I came to the meetup after COVID, and all I've been doing was just networking, grinding, trying to meet all of Hoboken, New York, Philly. And then I went there, and it was like there were only a handful of people that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to stand there and be like, it kind of gave me reassurance that the work I was doing was actually working. Because people come up saying hi, like it was nice, like a positive effect of the networking that I've been putting in.
I love hearing that, and I love that you were able to go from not knowing a lot of people to like figuring out who everybody was and putting that work in over that short period of time.
Yes.
It's kind of like when you walk into a room and you don't know a lot of people, especially in a room full of DJs, it's a little like overwhelming,
Definitely was.
I felt it. I went to a networking event recently, and I was like, I know like 5 people here. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also exciting to have that opportunity that there's all these people in our industry, in our market or New York City market that we haven't met yet,
I know. It's amazing. It's great.
Super cool.
I actually saw a couple people come in from Philly. So like, that's amazing. That just shows the pull we have here.
Yeah. Our events, we know we got the Philly people, we got the New York City people. So it's a cool thing.
Yes.
All right. So what would your dream guest speaker, guest presenter be at a Get Down meetup?
I think Zay may have said the same person, but my first favorite DJ was Laid Back Luke. Like, I always loved, because I used to go to a lot of festivals and stuff. I loved that he was up there being a DJ, regardless of if he was playing like his own type of music. He would always be a DJ. And being a DJ at the time, I always really respected that. And I would love to see his perspective on like things, because he's also been in the game for forever, remaining relevant. And like that's kind of like interesting perspective to have on how you've been in the game for like 10 plus years and you're still putting out records and you still have a name for yourself.
Yeah, I always respect the DJs and artists, producers who can go on stage and really, really DJ.
Yeah.
TJR was one. I know Chucky, where those guys can like out technique many, many, many DJs.
It's amazing. It's very refreshing because a lot of people just go up there, plug USB in and hit play.
It's also funny you guys both said Layback Luke, because that's one of Purari's mentors. Mikey's got records signed to his label, and, you know, he's helped Purari create this Purari Production Academy just in being someone to talk to and bounce ideas off of. So it's like really interesting and really cool that that tree is kind of happening, you know?
That's awesome. I would love to hear his perspective on things for sure.
All right, so what about like a DJ that you could pick you could see perform other than Laidback Luke, let's say?
Say that again?
A DJ, maybe a local DJ or just someone you'd want to see perform at a meetup.
I would love to get some of the like we always put our talent in, but maybe like one or two Philly guys. I think some of the Philly guys do a really good job. Nico Oso, Martin, like their styles are so different than ours. It's kind of cool because if I ever go down there, I notice that it's everything up here is you have a DJ M900 in the booth. Everything down there is you have an S9 in the booth. So the styles that develop just from that are very different. It's like a different taste in the air.
You know, we've talked about competition, we've talked about battles, like those guys live that life down there. You know, we had a Nico Oso here last year and we talked about it a little bit that you know, scratching and turntablism and performance is part of what they do. I think they're way more hip hop driven in Philly than we are here in North Jersey, New York City. So I think that plays a role, but I think that's just like they've created that down there, you know, which is awesome.
It's dope because it's only like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
You know, the styles are so different.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So James Yeager, thank you for joining us. Thanks for being a Get Down DJ, because you always represent us and you're a dope DJ, dope dude. So thank you, bro. All right, man.
Thank you.
All right. We're here with our next guest, John Macaluso, Mystical Entertainment, one of our sponsors, helped us out with the event the last 2 years. So Johnny, what's up, man? Who are you? What do you do?
What's going on, man?
What
I mean, at this point, we're family. We go way back, so it's just like, you know, you guys are the kings of the clubs. You know, we're the kings of the private event space, and it's always good to just like, you know, come up together, man. I love what you guys are doing, and it's great to be part of this, man. So Mystical Entertainment Group, MEDJS.com. Happy to be here, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I think one of the coolest things is like creating these partnerships and just working with people that we all like and respect and get along with. And I think the respect is mutual from Get Down and Mystical. So it's a perfect match.
Yeah, man.
So last year you were here as well and helped us out. What do you expect from this year at the meetup?
I just like to sit back and kind of just like watch and see the perspective from everybody else, from the young guys that are trying to break through and some of the veterans in this. And then, you know, I love what Purari's doing with his academy. That's awesome. We actually had him at our headquarters and he showed our guys what to do with mixing and making edits and everything like that. It's just, he's awesome, real talented. Yeah,
Purari's the man. I'm super excited to be here as someone who's expecting to learn from the seminar too. So super excited for that. All right. So in comparison to last year, you know, we did a lot of podcasts last year. We're doing the seminar this year. What's something you would love to see at a future Get Down meetup?
Oh, I think I might be kind of piggybacking off of some of these other questions, but I definitely want to see some battles, man. I think that would be dope. You know, some turntablism and kick it back old school. And I want to see that happen live, you know?
Yeah, I think having a room full of DJs and having DJs get up there and really strut their stuff, number one, shows how confident they are, gets to show their skills.
Yeah, man.
And though everyone likes the competitive juices flowing a little bit. So that would be really sick, actually.
Yep.
All right. So if you had a dream guest that we would get to invite to the meetup, who would that be for you? Music industry, it doesn't have to be a DJ or an artist.
It wouldn't happen because he's not alive. But a dream guest would be DJ AM, man. Like, remember when he came out and just turned the DJ world upside down with his mashups? I mean, that was
The first judge for our competition. He'd be the first call, right?
dude. Yeah, I would pay to see that. You know, I would pay him to have him come. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, he really changed the game for all of us. I mean, now it's all obviously edits and everything like that, but seeing him back in the day do that stuff live was just like mind blowing. You know what I mean?
It's cool to kind of have lived through that and see how long lasting his style and what he represented and the music that he was playing like still lives on. It's cool.
Yeah. Back in the day, like you're dropping Nirvana, you're like, it's unheard of, you know? It's like, it was cool.
Like true open format, like rock, hip hop.
Yep.
All right. So if we talked about dream guest, AM was a DJ, but if you could pick one DJ to see perform at a Get Down meetup, who would that be? Not AM, somebody else.
Not any of these house DJs. I enjoy seeing some of the hip hop DJs more. Definitely not Funk Flex because it doesn't shut up, right?
I'd love to have Funk Flex at a meetup though, for sure.
Yeah, no, I would definitely like to see some of his knowledge. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Why DJ Yanni? I'd like to see. He's pretty nasty seeing him live. You know, I like that kid. He's good, and he's like one of us. He's not going to think he's like too big. You know what I mean?
I actually went to an event where Yanni was showcasing recently Stream Hospitality with Ammo and those guys, and he was like speaking to the crowd and kind of talking about his journey and helping some of the younger DJs. It was super cool, and like Yanni's one of the best scratch DJs, period. So
and he's just a humble dude. Like I would enjoy that. It'd be cool.
Yeah, man.
He's a local guy too. I think he's is he from Jersey?
Yeah, initially from Jersey, I believe.
Yeah, man. That'd be dope. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen is right. All right, John Macaluso, Mystical Entertainment. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna have a good night.
Yeah, excited tonight, man. Great being here.
All right, what's up, guys? So we're gonna do a little something here. We're gonna bring some guests on and just do some quick hitters. We're here with UFO. Been here since day one with Get Down. Day one. Think about that.
Day one. It's been a while.
So introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do.
I'm DJ UFO. Like I said, I've been here since the beginning. Open format DJ, true open format DJ. I'm playing everything from, except for country, I'm playing house music. I'm doing Afro, reggae, big in the LGBT community out here. Yeah, so I do what I do.
Hell yeah, definitely one of our most diverse and able to handle any room DJs for sure. What's one thing that you love about the Get Down meetups?
The one thing I love about Get Down meetups is honestly seeing these guys that I see on social media, and I get to hang out with them and talk to them in person and actually hang out with these guys, you know, because a lot of these DJs are good people, and as much as I use it as a networking thing, I just like hanging out with my homies who I don't get to see very often.
Speaking of the homies, we've come a long way with Get Down. We have a lot of DJs. So, I mean, do you look at this as a way to also hang out with the crew? Because I know we all work a lot, right?
Oh yeah, well that's the thing, man. This is a great crew. Everyone from Tone Setter, Doug Spin, Gary Cream. Yeah, we've built Get Down on good people first, and it stinks that everyone's working when I'm working, but this is the time where we get to hang out and actually have some fun.
All right, what is something that you'd like to see that incorporated into a future Get Down meetup?
Honestly, I would like to see a little competition. I think that would fire some of these guys up to come here and compete. Maybe a scratch competition, maybe a set competition, and we can vote on it. And show some of them chops.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
We've tossed it around before for sure. Could be something for the future. I like it.
Dope.
Who would your dream guest at a meetup be?
My dream guest.
This doesn't have to be a DJ. It could be anyone, music industry.
Oh, can I get wild? Like
anything.
It would absolutely be Pharrell. favorite producer really is out there and has a different mindset when it comes to not only music, but the industry in general.
Pharrell's super dope. Definitely one of the people who inspired me to start producing and get into music. So love that answer.
Yeah.
All right. And if you could pick one DJ to see perform at a meetup, who would that DJ be?
My pick would definitely be Miles Medina, who I think is the dopest DJ out there. Real super open format and can basically control any room. And he does it on his own style, and he's just always mixing things that you don't think belong together, and they always come out real dope. So, yeah,
Love
Miles
that.
Medina.
I second that. Would love to see Miles
Yeah.
anywhere pretty much. All right. Anything you
well.
want to leave us with? Any final comments?
Yeah, man. Get Down has grown from 5 people at the Ainsworth to this crazy event, and I hope that everyone that joins today really gets something out of it. And if you're just watching this and haven't come yet, you need to come, because not only is it good for networking, it's good for the DJ soul, and it really fires you up for the rest of the year. So, yeah, hope to see you at the next one.
Love that. All right. UFOso, thanks for joining us. Peace.
Peace.
All right. We're here with Zay. Been with us a little bit. So just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Well, I go by Zay. Real name's Isaiah, but everybody calls me Zay around here. I've been a DJ for, I would say, about 7 years now. I just recently got into production, doing a lot more of that now, kind of trying to make my mixes, remixes. Been working on a lot of originals, and yeah, based out of New York. Do a lot of Jersey stuff, Jersey City, Hoboken. That's kind of my style.
Yeah, man, you play a lot of different styles, and you're versatile. You can play anything, and I know you have a ton of music that is
Definitely.
coming out this year and beyond. So really dope that you're working with us. I know you've been working with Purari and pumping out tracks with him. So it's the Purari and Get Down fam out here.
100%, man. And Purari's been a real true inspiration with me. Honestly, like, he taught me from straight up learning how to program drums, like all the small stuff. Like, he's brought me to a point where now I feel like I'm I'm a part of the music industry. And you can't say enough about the Purari Academy. Helped me out with so many remixes, so many edits, and he's the reason why, one of the main reasons why I get to do this full time now. So
Hell yeah. We love Purari, man.
for real.
All right, so how many Get Down meetups have you been to?
This is actually only my second.
Second one. So last year was your first one. All right. So
Yeah.
newer to the Get Down meetup. So what's something that you took away from last year?
Well, the first thing I took away from last year is that, this is a true community. I feel like in the past, I don't like to name drop anybody or stuff like that, but I feel like in the past, I dealt with a lot of DJ companies who like to gatekeep, the guys that they wanted you to be loyal to their place and their place only. And I just feel like that's a sin industry nowadays. And the meetup just kind of showed me that there really is like a community out there that, lifts each other up in the music industry. And I think that's very important. That's one of the biggest characteristics that I enjoy about Get Down,
Hell yeah. That community, we built the community before we built a business, which is kind of crazy, but it's worked because we've been able to carry it through for however many years now. And it's just really important to everything we do. And I love the community aspect and everybody. I love seeing everybody say what's up. And I love introducing you guys to other people. Like it's super dope. So, all right. So what's something that you would love to see at a future meetup?
Honestly, we got all I can ask for here at the moment. We got, seminars going on and stuff like that with people who are very notable. But I guess something that I would like to see is, maybe some sort of celebrity act would be crazy. Like we get some celebrity DJ to just pull up, because that's how far we've reached. We finally get to some real true celebrity DJs out here. But other than that, man, I really can't complain. I feel like we do it very well. Last year was great. This year I think is going to be even better. So can't complain.
Hell yeah. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised on who might pop in tonight. So
I can't wait. I haven't been privy to the information yet.
So this is like a good segue, but who would be a dream guest that you'd love to see come to a meetup? It doesn't have to be a DJ, it could be whoever.
Nah, to be honest, I'm gonna have to go with my guy Laid Back Luke, man. That if that were to ever happen, I would completely fanboy over him. He's actually the reason I started DJing, it was about 2017. I would watch his In the Mixes where he talks about like what's going on in his head during a mix, and it just inspired me, you know. And that guy has been my role model for years now, ever since I started it. So
Hell yeah.
laid back Luke, 100%.
You need those people that inspire you. So I know this kind of is a similar question, but who would you love to see DJ one of these events?
DJing, okay. Okay, so although I love laid back Luke, first of all, it'd be great to see him. But if I had to pick one person, it'd probably be like Joel Corey, to be honest.
All right,
Joel
dope.
Corey for sure, because we saw him back at the EDM.
Yeah, we saw him in Miami.
We saw him in Miami, and even though it was a small set at an award show, his just presence is something different, man. Like I really, really enjoyed.
The feeling that that I always walk away from Miami with is very similar to the feeling that I get when I walk away from these events.
Yes.
And like when I feel that way, I know we're doing something right, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
Dope,
just
man.
something that yeah. You
Nah,
got it on
I
the dot.
appreciate you jumping on with us real quick. Watch out for this guy. This guy's got records. He's got records. Let's
Thank
go.
you, bro. Appreciate
All right,
you,
Zay, man.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
No problem. Thanks.
Peace.
All right, guys, we're back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gary W., part owner of Get Down DJ Group. This is absolutely flattering that all of you guys showed up for a Get Down meetup. This has come a long way since the first year we did this. I know we tell this story every year, but there's some new faces in the room, some new people that who don't know us. So we started this meetup because, well, we were honestly booking DJs that we didn't even know. We've never met them before. So we hung out, we told our story, we met everybody, and then the following, I don't know, I think it was the following season, maybe that was spring, and then fall came around, and we decided, let's do it again, and it grew, and we had like 20 people in the room. And then the next one, we had like 40 people in the room. And now you stand here, and I think there's probably, 150 to 200 people here. So we really, really appreciate you guys all coming out. The whole point of this is for you guys to talk to each other, grow your network as best as possible, and create a positive DJ culture. That's what we're all about here. We want to make sure that everybody plays nicely, because that's what we try to do. We try to make sure that all DJs network in a positive way and trade gigs when they can and have each other's backs when they need it. So if there's anything that you take away from tonight, that's the number one thing that we hope that you walk away with. I'll let Kareem talk a little bit here, and hope you guys had a good night so far, and we look forward to Purari's seminar here. Yeah!
Good boy, Gary. No, I thought Gary killed it and said a lot of the things that we always talk about when we get together like this as a group. And I think a lot of things like this weren't happening when Gary and I kind of started and we're coming up in the game. And it was really, really important for us to create this community of DJs and producers and artists and record label people that could get together in a room and exchange ideas and link up and maybe work together, or maybe just create some dope people or dope friends that you look up to or respect. Every year there's more and more people that I respect and have looked up to or have mentored me over the years. So, this event and these events we always say are like the most important thing that we do. So appreciate all you guys being here. I hope you've met some other people that you don't know, and hopefully something comes of it. If not, hope you enjoy the music. And we got a great little seminar that Purari's going to put on right now. But I want to thank a bunch of people first. So first and foremost, Digital Music Pool. We've worked with them on everything we do. If you guys don't know what Digital Music Pool is, it's a really, really dope record pool. There's a lot of really great exclusive artists on there. Great music. Check it out if you've never checked it out. If you're a DMP member, you already know. Next, we have John Macaluso of Mystical Entertainment. He set up all of the audio video in this whole place. He did it last year as well. It's a lot of work. We really appreciate what he does and, his squad and team, so much respect. And then we got Mikey Purari we're about to introduce here. Shit, I didn't really make an intro for you. All right, so Mikey P initially was an open format local DJ, teen night, travel DJ, editor, that you probably, if you type in Mikey P in your Serato, you probably have edits from Mikey from 10 years ago. But he's transformed his whole brand and what he does as Purari, traveling artist, producer, Mix Mash Records. What other record labels you on? Yeah, all the good ones. Revealed, Spinnin'. Mikey is a wizard when it comes to production and Ableton. And not only does he really know what he's talking about, he's an amazing teacher. He's helped me put out all the music that I put out, all my original stuff. He's helped raise your hand if Mikey's helped you put out music in this room.
Hey, I know that guy.
So I'm really excited to be a part of this. Mikey's going to run through a little seminar, and I'm going to let him take over here and just kind of run through what we're going to do. So here you go, Mikey.
Man, what an intro. I mean, I had something prepared, but... I couldn't do it. I got you. Sorry, I'm not... There we go. Check. Okay, that's good. All right. So, wow. Man, this meetup has been so great over the last couple of years, and I think this is the biggest one we've had so far. So the fact that you guys are just here right now, man, kudos to you. Thank you guys for coming out. I know Gary and Cream really appreciate it. Johnny, myself, Digital Music Pool guys, so thank you guys for coming out. I had an introduction prepared. I'm a little nervous. I've DJ'd for probably 10 times the amount of people before in my life, but for some reason, this is a lot more nerve-wracking. So please bear with me. This is my first big production seminar, but I have a couple stuff prepared for you guys today, a lot of fun stuff. So again, kind of like what Cream said, my name is Mikey. I go by Purari. Maybe some of you guys know me as Mikey P. I'm 29 years old. I kind of got into this whole thing just from going to teen nights, Surf Club teen night being the most important. Joey D, I know you're in the crowd. Basically just kind of walked into the club, heard a DJ play. You know, my friends were like, yeah, we should go to Surf Club down the shore Thursday nights. And, you know, for me, I was like, Surf Club, that's where the Guidos go. I'm not going there, you know. Little did I know that was the best decision of my life. I walk in and I think it's DJ Dwayne Stas, right, Joe, right? I walk in, he's playing Beaver, Show Me Love, Hardwell mashup, and I instantly fell in love with the music. And from there, it was just a trip. And I just love everything about dance music. And here I am, you know, a lot of years later. Even though I'm only 29, I'll be 30 next month, and that's kind of where I'm at now. DJing since I was 14, started getting into just playing on my friends' CDs players. Kind of got into production a little bit at 16. I started making edits and mashups under the name Mikey P. Had a little bit of success with it. I was on Crack for DJs, Crooklyn Clan, if you guys know that. The OG's in here. Some of you guys are probably like, what the hell is that? Well, that was the premier digital music pool back in the day. Just kind of was making edits of tracks that I wanted to play in my sets that I couldn't find good remixes of. So I started making mashups, had support from a lot of the guys on the radio, DJ Toro, DJ Beatbreaker, 92.3, and here I was in high school just having my stuff played on the radio. It was the coolest feeling in the world, and then I needed to kind of take the next step after that, and I said, what are all the big DJs doing? And that's obviously, you know, producing music. So 17, I get into college, 18 or whatever it was, and I bought my first DJ or producing setup. I think it was a little crappy piano, MIDI keyboard, whatever it was, that I bought with my Crack for DJs money and just started making music. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I've never played an instrument in my life. I didn't know music theory. I just went into it with an open mind, and it was frustrating at times, but I ended up, kind of prevailing. Since then, I've signed to every EDM powerhouse in the world, such as Revealed, Hardwell's label, Spinnin' Records, the premier dance music label, Mix Mash Records, Smash the House, which is Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike's label, and many, many more production credits. My records have been supported by the likes of Hardwell, Diplo, Timmy Trumpet, Dimitri Vegas Like Mike, Laid Back Luke, W&W, Steve Aoki, David Guetta, Cash Cash, Dioro, Marshmello, and more. I think the only one that's not on there that I'm still trying to get to is Tiesto, but we'll get there one day. He may He may or may not have played one of my new stuff at the Brooklyn Mirage last weekend. I have to check the track list still, so I don't know. It's unconfirmed. I had videos, but... and then again, some of my production work. So a lot of guys think that producing music is it's just yourself and you're this artist and you put out music. Little do a lot of guys know is that, you know, producing music can get you further than that. You can produce for other artists. You have co-production credits. And some of my co-production work is Hardwell. I co-produced his track with Mac J, Left Right, with Fat Man Scoop and Dioro. I have a single with Waka Flocka, and I've worked on a lot of Waka Flocka stuff in the past. I just recently worked with Gashi and Paris Hilton. Yes, the Paris Hilton. I produced a record for her called Come Alive when I was in college. So, about the Academy. How did the Academy start, right? So, the Academy started in COVID. Obviously, a lot of you guys are probably in the same boat as me. COVID happened. We didn't know what to do with our lives, right? I was making music, and I felt like the music I was making was a little ingenuine because I was making these club festival records for people DJing in their bedroom on Twitch. So I decided, you know what, let's take a break on that. Let me do something I've always wanted to do, which was teach the upcoming generation of young DJs and producers and artists that want to get involved, right? So I've always mentored the young DJs and producers in my career. When I was upcoming, I was, 16, 17, 18 years old. All the other DJs were a lot older than me, and I'm not gonna lie, they were complete fucking dicks, excuse my French. I was, the bottom of the barrel. Nobody was nice to me, even though I thought I was a pretty good DJ. And one of my mentors, shout out to him, DJ Toro, told me one thing, and he said, remember your roots and always be humble. And that's something that I've taken to the grave with me always. So helping the younger generation has been a big part of my career. It's a big part of my brand. A lot of DJs think it's cool to, oh, I play this spot and I do that. But it's not that cool, guys. Helping the younger generation is much cooler than trying to have this big ego and oh, I do this. Because unless you're Tiesto, you're not DJing until you're 50, all right? So help the younger generation out. They're the future, okay? So Purari Production Academy, this is my first flyer that I made in April 2020. Basically, I was just offering a bunch of producing services. It started with just 2 students. It grew. And then it grew, and now I think we're up to about 50, 75 students, I think I want to say, and it's still starting to grow. It's kind of unbelievable to me. Thank you. Some of you guys are here. I see you. Yep. And we've kind of been in the game now for 3 years as like kind of the premier production school in this area. I mean, I even have students in the Netherlands, which is kind of surreal to me. And we have, over 75 releases in 3 years. And these are guys, some of them, who couldn't even program a kick drum, which I'm going to show you today. 75 releases, and on top of that, our students have been supported from some of the premier talent in the EDM industry, such as Diplo, Lost Kings, Loud Luxury, shout out to Dario, Timmy Trumpet, also shout out to Dario, Cheat Codes, Kasha, Nico and Sway, Paulie D, and have had tracks played at every major festival. Just a little bit of cool stuff here. Won't let me click on them. Anyway, Diplo playing Angelo the Kids. All right, take your picture. Diplo playing Angelo the Kids. Diplo playing Angelo the Kids Can't Hold Us remix. That's 4B playing Solano's Grizztronics remix. And obviously the latest one, Timmy Trumpet playing Dario's That's the Way I Like It original cover of a old disco song. So it's been pretty surreal. So a little bit about the Academy. What makes the school different, I think, in my opinion, is 3 major things, okay? The school is focused on a one-on-one type of mentality, okay? And it's very cool because I help you on what you guys specifically need to get better at. I look at your weaknesses and I say, you guys need to improve on X, Y, and Z, and I work with you specifically to improve that. The second thing is our extreme tight-knit community. The whole school is run on Discord, and we have this awesome community in Discord. Everybody's friends with each other. We just went to Miami together. There was 15 of us there. It was an amazing time, and you don't get a group of people like this. When I was upcoming as a producer, I was surrounding myself with other like-minded producers. Some of the guys I came up with were Castra, Damian Anthony, Gazzo, Reed Stefan, Nick from the Disco Fries, I know is here. Shout out to the Disco Fries. But those are the guys that I kind of came up with, at the time, and I was trying to surround myself with. So when you're in this academy, you're kind of surrounding yourself with other like-minded producers, and it will help you grow faster as a producer when you work with each other and not against each other. And lastly, number 3, there are proven results. A lot of courses on YouTube will sell you and say, oh, you can do this in this year. You could do this in this year. But the student success speaks for itself. I don't take credit in it. These guys do, okay? They're the hard workers. They're the ones that go after it. They're the ones putting in the work. I'm just helping lead the way. And in this course, for anyone that does want to join, I will ask a lot of you, but I will give you even more in return, as this course is not for the work shy. Anyone that works with me will tell you that. I will work you. I don't hold anything back. I'm going to be real with you, and that's just the way I am. So if you want to level up your career, take it to the next level, achieve more than you've ever thought, maybe transform yourself from an open format DJ to an artist, and go from this. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Is it working? Nothing's changed. Hold on. This is Solano's first thing he's ever sent me, okay? This was a year ago, so everybody listen to this. And you want to go to this. Make some noise for Solano. Then inquire today. All right, so thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. So today I'm going to do a couple demos. This is stuff you're going to learn when you work with me, but we're going to do this thing in 2 parts, okay? Part 1 is for all beginners. I know a lot of you guys that are here are editors. You guys want to be on Digital Music Pool. You want to be on all the record pools. Maybe you just want to make some stuff for your sets, right? So today I'm going to teach you that, is how to make a mashup in Ableton. We're going to just go over choosing 2 songs to mash up. We're going to learn how to warp them, keep them in key, keep them on time, how to take it a step further. I feel like right now a lot of guys are just laying acapellas over instrumentals, and that's not enough now. So I'm going to show you how to use third-party plugins, some Ableton plugins, and take it a step further, how to really make unique build-ups, and finally get your mashup to a club-ready level. A lot of times I get asked, guys, how do you get your mashup limited? Or some guys are asking how to put compression. You don't have to do all that stuff. You just got to get ready to a club-ready level. So that's going to be part 1. Part 2 of this Production Academy course will be me breaking down my remix I just put out of Telecast Better Now. This is going to be more for the intermediate advanced producer, but we're going to go over a full in-depth production breakdown, how I made the drums and programmed them, to the fills, to the leads, to the synths, and more. I'm also going to show you guys the plugins I use to mix and master this to get it to a club-ready level. And lastly, thanks to Digital Music Pool, a free sample pack of all of the sounds, all of the presets, all of the Ableton racks, and everything will be available via Digital Music Pool. So there'll be a link at the end of this today. I'll put it on my Instagram story as well, and you guys will get all of the sounds and samples for that. Other than that, there's going to be 2 sign-ups for classes that I'm announcing today. And we'll go over this at the end as well, too, but I just want, while everyone's in the room, I want them to kind of just take notice. The first class is going to be a beginner Ableton course. It's a 6-week course. This course was already taken by several of you, maybe about a couple months ago. This course is a 6-week beginner course. Like I said, it's pre-recorded. You're going to go over a lot of the basics that we're going to go over, which is including my scaffolding technique, Ableton 101, music theory, chords and melodies, kick and bass techniques, and music business, okay? It's a true beginner course, so if you've never dabbled into Ableton before, this is the course for you. The next course I'm going to promote is probably a little bit more for the intermediate advanced producers, but it's going to be a really cool one. And originally this course was priced at $399. Today, if you sign up, it'll be discounted at $150, only being $249. Second course, this is a brand new course that's going to be live. This is not pre-recorded. This is a live course through my academy on Discord. And it's going to be how to make house music. It's going to start in the middle of June. It's going to cover everything from house music, how to program drums, how to program a bass line, how to pick the right samples and sample selection, how to take an 8-bar loop and turn it into a full song, right? You're also going to learn how to mix and master that song with Ozone. And at the end of the course, you'll have a fully mix and mastered track if you do the work. It could be a remix. It could be a full house track, whatever you want. And again, this is a step above beginners. That course will be $399 as well, but we're going to give a discount of $100 if you sign up from now until Friday, priced at $299. And again, sign-ups start today. The link is in the Instagram bio at Purari Production Academy. I'm sorry, at Purari Prod Academy. And if you guys want any information about the Academy after this seminar, or you're just out there trying to learn some more information, if I'm taken, you could talk to one of these fine gentlemen right here, Nikita, Solano, Dario, Zay. You guys could ask them. They're basically going to get, and Sean's somewhere. I don't know where Sean is. Sean's in the back. Okay. You guys could talk to them. They'll kind of tell you their success stories, how the Academy's helped you, and they'll give you some more information on the Academy and the community. I think that's it. So who's ready to make a mashup? Let's do it. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open Ableton here. And right now, what I want to do is I want to talk about the edit and mashup game, okay? Right now, I feel like the edit and mashup game is such a fun space because we have this new technology, right? We have AI that could literally, I don't know how they do it, rip acapellas from any track you want, okay? Everybody has access to Ableton. Everybody has access to production software now, so it's been a really fun time. However, a lot of you guys are trying to figure out how to, maybe up your edit game or how you could do things better. In my opinion, there's two things with edits right now, or mashups, like I like to call them, that are kind of like, I don't know, weighing heavy on my heart. The first thing is, I scroll through Digital Music Pool all the time. I'm looking for new stuff to play, and a lot of guys are just taking acapellas and throwing them over tracks, okay? It's fine. If it works, it's good, right? But to me, that's the easy way out. There's so much more you can do if you learn the ins and outs of music production. You could add risers. You could add effects. I was working with a student today, Christina, and we just did a whole build-up with her. So that's the first thing, is taking it to the next level. The second thing that I think right now is that the edit game is very volatile right now. With so many more editors, raise your hand if you make edits and you upload them on music pools. Probably a lot of you guys, right? Right now, it's very tough because there's so many guys doing the same things as you. Everybody's taking a Morgan Wallen acapella, going and mixed in key or Serato, and finding every song that's in key with it and making 30 different edits, okay? So, try and do something different. Try and expand it with these techniques I'm going to teach it to you, and then take it a step further from that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make an edit live. So when you open up Ableton right here, you're greeted with this session view screen, okay? I'm not a big fan of this screen, so we're just going to hit tab on the keyboard, and it'll take you over here, okay? Now, I'm not interested in these two tracks right here. These are MIDI tracks. We're not going to go over MIDI in the first part, so what we could do is when we first open Ableton, just delete them like that, okay? Now, the biggest thing is finding two tracks to mash up. I've prepared something for us today. If I could find it, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna do two tracks today. I'm gonna do this Sick Dope track, which, again, if you guys know me, I make a little bit harder sounds. So I'm gonna drag this Sick Dope track instrumental in here, which, again, you guys can find on Digital Music Pool. And I'm just gonna mash it up with I'm Good. Just because it's a popular track right now, right? So first thing I want to do is, before I even look at the acapella, is I want to turn off this acapella by clicking this button right here. I just want to make sure that this track is aligned to the Ableton grid and to make sure that everything in the BPM is all correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in over here. I'll give a little test. Oh, too loud. There we go. That's good. Thanks, Sean. All right, so we're just gonna zoom in over here, and we're gonna use a key command. We're gonna go here to the first kick drum. I'm gonna zoom in really, really far, and just press Command E. What Command E is gonna do is gonna split the track right where I clicked. I can hit delete, and now I'm gonna drag this right on the grid, okay? Now, the next thing we have to do is kind of find the BPM. If you guys have, Serato or, Record Box, you can throw the track in there, find the BPM. There's also another really great resource. I don't have internet right now, but it's called TuneBat. And TuneBat is a website that has every song that's ever been released and has the BPM and the key assigned to it as well. I know what the BPM is on this, and if I double click this, you'll notice that I am not warped on this acapella. I get questions a lot. Mikey, how do you warp? How do you warp, right? Well, right now, I don't need to warp this track. I know this track was produced at a certain BPM, so I don't need to warp it. I could just keep it on the grid and let it be, right? If I want to warp it later, I could do it. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to set the BPM of this. Up here, this is a metronome. You can use this to your advantage and just trying to find the BPM. So I'm going to click, and I'm just going to go up here. Great, that sounds on time, right? So I'm just increasing the tempo BPM of this project to 130, which is the tempo of this track. Now what I can do is I can start lining up my arrangement, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I'm a DJ's DJ. I don't play a track longer than 1 minute and 30 seconds. I love to slam in and out of records, right? So when I arrange this, I want to think about the arrangement that's going to work with DJs, okay? For me, that's a 16-bar intro, or you could do an 8-bar intro, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to keep this at a 16-bar intro just for this purpose. And if you could see right here, the intro ends right at bar 17. Oh. Forgot to mute it. That's right. So there we go. Cool. All right. So I know I wanted to do something with that. I want to lay the acapella over this, okay? Now, we have a problem here. We know I'm good. Everybody has that in the Serato, I hope, right? We know that track's at 128 BPM. My project right now is at 130, okay? Now again, when it comes to the warping, a lot of guys get confused here. They think about setting the 1-1 and doing this, doing that. I'm gonna make it really easy for you. If you know what the original BPM is, especially if you rip it from a song with AI, it's gonna be as simple as this. We're gonna open the acapella. We're gonna double click it. Right now, it's not warped. I have a setting in Ableton on right now that turns off the warping for long tracks. You guys can do it too. But if it is warped, just unwarp it, okay? And then all we're gonna do is just hit warp. And if we know the original acapella's BPM is 128, you see this little BPM thing right here? You just click here, enter 128. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna keep your acapella right on the grid, okay? Now this acapella, I do wanna keep warped. It has a very, very heavy sound. You'll hear it. Hopefully you'll feel it. And the kick and sub bass are working hand in hand together, like this. And with the mid bass. And with the chords. And it kind of ties everything together. In progressive house, if you have a good kick, you have a great chord layers, and you have a good lead layer that sits on top, you got it right every single time. So that's basically the drop. Besides a couple of acapella fills that I just did, these are pretty simple, I would say. I did the same things as the mashup just a minute ago, but utilizing chops of the vocal. Just using them throughout the drop really makes it tie together. And I think that's pretty much it for the drop. You got your standard effects, downlifters, uplifters. One tip that I give all my students is when you're making big room music, especially for house music a little bit different, I use something else, but when I think of big room music, what happens? You're playing at a big festival, you drop it, and usually there's some type of crowd that goes, woo, if they're yelling, they're going crazy, right? So one of the things I do in all my drops to help fill out the track is I use crowd noise in the drop. So if you listen to it, this is just basically a crowd screaming like in a stadium. You guys can hear it better here. And it's tucked back in the mix so that when the track drops, it feels like people are already yelling at the drop, makes it sound bigger. So that's just a little bit of an effect technique, but other than that, the effects are pretty simple. And I'm pretty sure I bounced out my crowd noise and everything in that sample pack. But that's basically it. I want to go over some of the breakdown instruments before we go on to the mixing and mastering, because I think that the way I did this breakdown was pretty cool. But 9 times out of 10 when I'm starting a track, especially like a breakdown making chords, I'm always starting with the piano, right? So basically I have a grand piano playing the chords of the track. Very simple chords. There's 4 chords in this track. No more, no less. That's it.
and that carries the entire rhythm or the entire musical structure throughout the track. On top of it though, I felt like the chords were too mellow. I needed something that's gonna spice it up a little bit. So I took a guitar from Contact. Now Contact, if you guys know Contact from Native Instruments, it's a really, really good sampler-based instrument. So I don't even know if it's gonna open. It is. I use strummed acoustic for this. And what this is doing is this is allowing me to play a real guitar. It sounds so realistic, it's crazy, with MIDI. And that sounds like this. If you handed me a guitar right now, I have no idea how to do that. But with the glory of Ableton and the glory of Contact, I'm able to get this realistic guitar sound. Where back in the day, I'd have to hire a guitarist to do it. So there's 2 guitar layers in this, both coming from Contact. I have that one, and you'll notice right after, I kind of mellow it. And listen how it's playing with the piano. That one's just playing a little bit more chords to give a little bit more of a mellow feeling. And then, again, you know, I like a lot of orchestra instruments. I love orchestra, I love violins, I love strings. I have no idea how to play a violin. I don't think I've ever held a violin in my life. But, thanks to our good plugins, especially Nexus, I was able to create a whole string ensemble with those same 4 chords I used on the song. This is what I came up with. And again, that was coming from Nexus, from the Hollywood expansion. And it's just an arpeggio called Living String Spiccato, but it's giving me this orchestral feeling that it would take me thousands of dollars to hire, 20 string players to recreate that. Again, same 4 chords. So altogether, the piano, the guitars, and those strings sound like this. Pretty cool. So what I also like to do in my productions, I like to use reverse synths with a lot of reverb to help transition from part to part. So from break 1 to break 2 to the build up, I used a sample here because I was being lazy. And it just helps me go from part to part with that. By utilizing, these reverse synths, it'll help you transition from part to part without feeling so dull. So I highly recommend to, take a sound like this and incorporate it all throughout your breakdowns. Then of course, we have a race bass, one of my favorite sounds to use. It's just a very wide bass sound that's playing the break. And this preset, funny story about this preset, this is called BA Flume Reese. I got it on Splice, I don't know how long ago. I recently just saw Hardwell post up a TikTok, and he was using this same exact bass in his Miracle remix. So if you guys want to use the same sound as Hardwell, it's right on Splice. It's called BA Flume Reese, okay? Hardwell's using the same one in his Miracle remix. It's a great sound. If Hardwell's using it, you probably should use it too. It's a really, really great sound. Highly recommend it for your breakdowns. And then to tie up my breakdowns a little bit, I like to use atmosphere. So in this one, I have 2 atmospheres. These atmospheres just play one note, usually the root note of the track, and they're just kind of ambient sounds that sit in the background. So I have another guitar that sounds like this. Sorry for the volume. Anyway, that's sitting super low in the mix. And then I have a string that's just creating tension. It's just a string playing one note. With everything, you kind of hear the string and how the guitar tie everything together. Cool. And besides the vocal, this is pretty simple. And that's basically it. little fun fact about this track. This is the first track I made in Ableton. This came out 2 months ago. I've never made a track in Ableton, but my students inspired me to, you know, take a gander at it and do it. And this is what I came up with. There's no rocket science here. There's nothing crazy. It's just about picking the right sounds, organizing them in the right way, and just kind of putting them together in your own flavor. So that's basically it with the production, guys. Like I said, if you guys are interested in producing progressive house, this entire sample pack, I'm going to post it on my Instagram, will be available on DMP. I think it comes with an Ableton rack, it comes with some presets for Spire, Serum, Nexus, all the above. So take a look at that. But I think what a lot of guys are trying to check is my secret master chain. No, I'm kidding, it's not that secret. But if you guys know anything about mastering, basically mastering is the step that you guys take in order to make your track final for the radio or Spotify or whatever. It's important to have really good balance in your mix. It's important to have the right loudness. It's important for a lot of things. But I'm going to take you guys through my master chain real quick. The first plugin that I use in my master chain is a FabFilter Pro Q, okay? Now, when I use the Pro Q in the master chain, I always use linear phase mode, okay? What linear phase mode is going to do is it's going to allow you to EQ things without adjusting the phase. It requires a little bit of CPU, which is why my computer was lagging, but it's a higher quality EQ, and all I'm doing is rolling off all frequencies below my magic number, which I always cut my tracks at 32. I always roll off everything above 18K, and then over here we're just a little bit of problematic frequencies, which I'm removing right here as well. So just making sure things are balanced and sitting right. The next plugin I'm using is probably not going to work, because I don't have my UAD hardware plugged in, but this is something called the SSL compressor, okay? It's from UAD, there's all different emulations out there, there's the glue, there's so many different things. I'm using a slow attack, fast release, only doing about 4, maybe 3 dBs of gain reduction, and what this compressor is doing is it's gluing my track together. It's making the mid-range come out in the front. It's giving that mojo that, you know when you guys hear a record and you hear that tightness of the record, right? That's coming from this compressor. It's been used on thousands and thousands of countless records, Michael Jackson, Pink Floyd, Nirvana, you name it. Any Beatles, everything went through the SSL compressor. And it's basically taking all your loud elements, making them quieter, and making the track have some punch. So I'm only doing a little bit there. My master chain usually always goes EQ, compression, and then my little favorite plugin, one of my secret weapons right here. I don't even think a lot of my students know this one. This is called the Diamond 3 EQ from Acoustical Audio and my good friend Luca Predolesi. My boy Freefall's here. I actually met Freefall taking Luca's classes, but he designed this plugin. This EQ sounds so damn good. There's nothing out there like it. It basically adds low frequencies, low mid frequencies, high mid frequencies, and high frequencies to your track in such a smooth, natural way that other EQs can't replicate. The FabFilter can't do it. The Pultec gets close but doesn't do it. If you guys want to look into this one really turns the track. You're not going to be able to hear it on here, otherwise I can show you. But it really, really makes the track go from nothing to something. It's one of my favorite EQs, and I'm using this post-compression. The reason why I'm using it post-compression is because compression is going to make that track tight. Then what I'm doing here is I'm taking the 620 hertz to 8K hertz region, taking that mid-range region and pulling it up in the track. I'm also giving a little bit of brightness at the top at 50K. Some guys are probably in here like, why are you boosting at 50K? Only dolphins can hear that, right? Because I'm boosting at 50K, it's giving such a smooth slope to the top end, which makes your track sound sweet and crispy. And then of course, I'm doing a little bit of bump in the bass, because who needs a lot of bass? Me, I need a lot of bass. So, one of my favorite plugins. Post that. Who's heard of this plugin, Soothe, before? I know my guys have, but if you guys haven't invested in this plugin yet, you have to invest in it. This is not an EQ. This thing does things that other plugins can't do. I like to call it a dynamic resonance suppressor. So basically what this plugin is going to do is it's going to listen to all the bad frequencies in your track, and it's going to remove them in a natural way. And the cool thing about it is it's constantly moving with the music. So I'm just using a little preset I like here called De-essing the Master, because I always feel like my tracks have a little bit too much high end. So I'm not doing a whole ton, it's just removing I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that's what it's removing. All these resonant frequencies that would be harmful or hurting the human ear. So basically just taming those entire frequencies above that. My next one is a lovely little trick I've been utilizing. Maybe Jose knows this one, but I'm using Saturn to give saturation to my track. I love using saturation on the master because it helps fill in frequencies, it gives perceived loudness, and it makes your track sound thicker. Especially for dance music, we're always a part of the loudness war, so we're always trying to make the track as loud as possible. So I use this to give a little bit of loudness, but I actually use a preset from this, from Saturn 1, called Magic Mastering, which, again, does a mid-side mastering. It sounds so good, and all I do is I blend it in about 50%. And what it's going to do is it's going to make your track sound a little bit wider on the sides, but also give it some loudness and some punch to it. So a little trick, if you have Saturn 1 or if you can get the presets, I don't do anything to the preset. I just blend it in 50%. That's something called parallel saturation. When you're taking something in a plugin and blending the dry signal with the complete plugin signal, it's called parallel. You guys have maybe heard that from parallel compression. I don't really use that anymore, but again, Saturn on the master, one of my favorites. Then lastly, my Gold Floss isn't working because of the internet, but lastly, I'm just using an imager from Ozone. All this is doing is it's making my track 150 hertz and down, aka all of the bass frequencies in mono, okay? Many of you guys know right now this speaker's in mono. We don't have a left and right speaker. A normal club setup would be, or a just regular setup would be 2 speakers, left and right, and a subwoofer in the middle. That subwoofer is translating all of the frequencies 150 hertz and down. We have one subwoofer for a reason, right? It only plays one channel. So if I have stereo information below 150 hertz, there's some problems that are going to go on. There's going to be something called phase canceling, which is going to take your bass and cancel it out from each other. There's going to be too wide of a bass, you lose the punch of your track. So what I'm trying to do here is take 150 hertz and down and keep it completely mono so that no matter where I play it in a club or a car, the bass will translate super, super clear. Everything else, I'm just widening a little bit. I don't want to dive into imaging. A lot of guys ruin their tracks with too much imaging, but I like to approach it with, again, one of my mentors, Luca's techniques called the Christmas tree. Basically, a Christmas tree starts with a trunk, right? So consider the trunk of the Christmas tree. Actually, do I have a diagram for this? I might. Let me see. If I don't, I'll explain it. I'm pretty sure I just made this for somebody. All right, I passed it? No, that was just a shitty, no, that's just compression. Okay, so if I don't have it, it's fine. But basically, the Christmas tree diagram, I thought I had it here. It's not, okay. So basically, what I'm trying to do with my imaging is I'm keeping the trunk of my tree. Picture the bottom of your Christmas tree at 20 hertz. The trunk goes to 150 hertz. We all know that's a straight trunk. That's going to stay in mono. Then what happens? As you go up the frequencies, the Christmas tree opens up. It gets bigger, bigger, bigger. Then when you get to the top of your frequencies, you start to close it out. So as you can see right here, from 150 to about 1K hertz, I'm making it wider. My mid-range making it a little bit wider than that. But when I get to 10K and up, I'm starting to close it out a little bit. And for me, that's just a general good approach when I'm not trying to image or anything, just to kind of keep that Christmas tree shape in my imaging. Normally, I would try and create stereo image. There's another great plugin out there by the same people that make the Diamond EQ. It's actually in collaboration with Hardwell called Space Control. That's an amazing, amazing imager because there's something called phase limiting on it. But I don't want to dive into that today. And then lastly, my limiting. So I have a very different approach to limiting. I personally don't care about peaks. I don't care about peak level. The reason is because if I ask you guys, can you hear peaks in a song? If I say, hey, so-and-so, can you tell me how loud this peak is in a song? The answer is you can't, right? Because the human ear is not developed enough to hear peaks. So whenever I have peaks or transients, I say, fuck them, right? So most guys, what they'll do is they'll throw a limiter on, okay? They'll take a limiter, they'll throw it on the master of their track, which is what I talked about before in the mashup thing, right? Which is totally fine. However, What limiting is doing is, I like to explain it like whack-a-mole, right? Limiting, what it's doing is we play whack-a-mole, we go to the boardwalk, we're playing it, right? Limiting is going to take those peaks and just lower them. So if your peak is created by, let's say, your kick and clap going over each other, limiting is going to take that and make it quieter. Well, I don't want to lower my kick and my clap, right? So instead of playing whack-a-mole with the hammer at the boardwalk, I want to go with a hatchet axe. And guess what I'm going to do? When that mole comes out, I'm going to chop all the peaks off. Now, the cool thing about that is, this is clipping. A lot of guys say, oh, clipping's bad, clipping's bad. Well, guess what? This is a type of good clipping. I like doing this, and especially with the whack-a-mole, when you have a ton of peaks. One mole comes up, you're fine, you hit it back down. 2 moles come up, you hit 2, you're down. Now all of a sudden 10 moles come up. You guys start getting stressed, you guys start getting anxious, you're sweating, right? We don't want our limiter to do that. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna have one limiter deal with the peaks. Jesus. So the one limiter that's gonna deal with the peaks over here, looks like the Diamond EQ, is going to be another plugin called Lift 3. Now, this is again a mastering plugin. I am only using it right here for a little bit of saturation, and what it's doing is it's going to take those peaks and just chop them off, just like that. There's going to be no difference in sound with that, and by doing that and eliminating those peaks, you can really push this thing really loud, and that's how some of these guys like Showtech, Hardwell, Tiesto are getting their tracks so loud is by utilizing this 2 limiter clipping limiting technique. So Lift is a great plugin. There's a better one out there called Standard Clip that I really like. It's like $25, maybe less, that you could use to chop peaks off. I was just being lazy on this. I didn't stem mix this. I had to kind of get this on a deadline, so I just decided for this one. But most times I'm using the Standard Clip. And then lastly, I'm using just this limiter over here. It's a little plugin from Tokyo Dawn Records called Limiter 6. And basically what this limiter does is, when you guys are converting audio from in your computer to digital, what's happening is, little do you know, there's other peaks that are going to come up from that conversion. Those are called intersample peaks. We measure them in music production with something called true peaks. This limiter is only dealing with the true peaks. So even if you master your track at 0 dB, there'll usually be 0.1, 0.2 dBs of true peaks that come through. This limiter is only doing one job, to catch those 2 or 3 dBs, or 0.2, 0.3 dBs of those true peaks, and just limiting them. And that's basically my master chain. That's giving me a good enough level to have this ready. And 9 times out of 10, what I'm doing while I'm mastering, I'm mixing, is I'm comparing it to another similar track. So for me, this track I was comparing to Nicky Romero, Martin Garrix, Dub Vision, and making sure that my RMS level is the same as theirs. I was at the same loudness, and then normally what I'll do is I'll take it to the car. I'll test it in the car. I'll play it next to a Martin Garrix or Dub Vision track. I'll put it on my USB, go into my studio, hit my CDJs, play it next to it, just to make sure that that track is at a good enough level. And then other than that, that's pretty much my mastering chain. There's not really anything crazy going on. I think that if you guys find a good mastering chain, just use it. You don't have to go too much into the mixing and mastering stuff. I know there's some nerds in here like me that just love this stuff, but you know, at the end of the day, the song, when you're producing a song, the idea and the production is way more important than the mixing and mastering. You could always hire somebody to do the mixing and mastering and get it up to a level you want to get at, but the producing has to happen with you. And that's kind of what we teach in the course. And I know, wow, we've been going a long time, almost, geez. But it was about an hour and a half. I went 9 minutes over, so I was doing pretty good. But any questions about this, the mastering chain, plugins, anything I did in this track specifically? Anything you guys want to see? Yeah, right there.
Do you use group processing at all?
I do. I kind of went over that a little bit with the leads. He asked if I use group processing. Now, group processing doesn't have to be too extreme. Normally what I'm doing is EQing, saturating, compressing, especially something like a lead. In this case, I added reverb to kind of glue them all together. I usually add one sidechain to all of them on the group, just so that they all kind of move together. But that's what I did for the leads. I don't think I did anything on the drums. I didn't. They sounded good as they were. The chords, you know, your basic stuff. Little Valhalla vintage verb. I love OTTing the groups. I like to do OTT after the reverb, and the reason is because I like to put reverb on something, and OTT I feel like ramps it up and makes it sound a little bit bigger. It glues that reverb onto the sound. And the reason is because OTT is an upwards-downwards compressor. Basically what it's doing is I do less downwards compression, which is traditional compression, and I do more upwards compression, which is what we call expansion. So when the sound goes over the threshold, it's actually boosting it, okay? So that's why I like to do that. On this one, I did a little bit of excitement in the mid-range of the chords with Ozone, just to get a little bit more of a mid-range sound. Ozone Imager, just the basic one. This is a free plugin from Ozone, just the Imager plugin, not multiband, just to give it a little bit of stereo. But that's what I do with the chords. Same thing with the bass, a little bit of Camel Crusher, distortion, to get it like fat and loud. EQ sidechain, but nothing too crazy. I mean, nothing on the vocals, more stuff on the actual individual vocal stuff, but this one, yeah, I do group processing, but I was on a deadline on this, and when you have deadlines, you can't mix and master it, so.
Put like limiters on the groups, like multi-limiters?
I don't use multi-limiters, no, it's a case-by-case basis. So basically what I'm doing is I'm listening to the mix, and if I feel like the chords aren't cutting through, I'll go through my toolbox. I compare it to my students like a toolbox, right? How many different screwdrivers out there? There's Phillips head, flathead, there's hex key screwdrivers, whatever. But it's about using that, learning that screwdriver, that one screwdriver with the different heads, and applying it to those groups. So if I feel like I need more mid-range, I'm not gonna just throw an EQ and boost it. Maybe I'll go to saturation. Maybe I'll, use something else. I know I just bought a house, right? I've been trying to hammer in a nail that I couldn't actually get to with the hammer. So what I do, I took my screwdriver, I hit my hammer, and I went boom, 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 and it nailed the hole into the wall, right? You could do that with plugins. Something I do on respaces a lot is I use an exciter and imager. I keep the bottom part really mono on the respace, because by naturally they're really wide, and I keep the top part wide, and then I use the imager to kind of adjust that. But again, there's so many different plugin combinations. We could go talk for days about this. It all depends on what you need for the track, to be honest with you. But my biggest advice is learn your tools. Learn what saturation does in and out. Learn what compression does in and out. I guarantee you 90% of this room doesn't even know what compression does. Still, it took me 8 years to learn compression. I finally understand it. So just learn your tools, and I think that goes a long way. Jose. Hey, that was a little secret. Okay, so TrackSpacer is a funny plugin. It's been around forever. TrackSpacer I discovered from, again, the King Hardwell many light years ago. Basically what I'm doing there is I'm using TrackSpacer to sidechain for space, and I'm not using sidechain to just duck the kick away. So let me see where I put that. I put down the synths.
I think you put it on the leads.
Put it on the leads, let's see. Okay, I did. So if you look right here, this TrackSpacer is on the leads. It's a plugin that what it does is when you sidechain it with something else, right, it's going to analyze the EQ spectrum of that, and it's going to duck it inversely to what it's analyzing. You could do this now with Soothe and stuff, but if you can see right here, I'm using the TrackSpacer, and I'm sidechaining it with the vocals. So whenever the vocals and the leads play together, the leads are going to duck down inversely to the vocals so that the vocals could pop through. So let me show you an example. Let's find a spot where they both play. Okay, so I think that's why I used it, was for the drop. I wanted the vocals in the drop to kind of come through a little bit more, but the lead was so loud. So what I did was, leads, let's do vocals. I think it did to the main vocals, and let's loop this part. Let me pull up the TrackSpacer again. Okay, so if you guys see what's going on here, when the leads play, you're going to see two things happening. So this blue line right here is the EQ of the vocal. That's the main part of the vocal. And what the TrackSpacer is doing is it's taking away the lead frequencies that are inversely parallel to that. So while the vocals are playing this is happening to the leads. It's ducking the lead when the vocals play, and what that's doing is it's called side shading for space. It's giving space for the vocals to pop through the mix while the leads are still there, but they're lowered in volume. And it's doing it automatically without me having to think about it. So if you see right here, I'm gonna play it. Nothing's happening. And basically it's creating room for those vocals to come through. So yeah, Track Spacer is a very old plugin. It doesn't use a lot of CPU, yes. Soothe will, depending on if you have oversampling and all that stuff on. But this is a great plugin. I like plugins that are very easy to use, right? I like intuitive plugins that get the job done, and that's it. And you guys can see, just like I'm a Nexus whore, I am a plugin whore. These are all the plugins I have, and that's just the companies, not alone all the other stuff that's in here. Like, that's just one company from Waves, right? So, do I need those? Absolutely not. If you guys learn your plugins, it's a lot easier to get stuff done. But yeah, hopefully that answers both of your guys' questions. Any other questions about this remix? In the back?
Yeah, when anchoring your kicks, I've seen anywhere between like -6 to -10 dB. What are your thoughts on that?
I mix all my songs around the kick. Okay, so when I start producing, I kind of keep my kick at one level. For me, I think on this one it's -10. This one's at -12. Don't know why. I just feel like in modern progressive house, there's less emphasis on the kick. They're kind of tucked back a little bit, so maybe that's why I did that. But most times I put it at -10. Then I mix everything around the kick. The kick has to be the loudest elements. So kick, bass, usually the technique that I use is I keep my sub bass, which is going to be the next loudest element besides